All right, this is everything you need to know about crypto airdrops today, things you need to do to qualify for future airdrops and things that you can claim right now. So let's start with one of the biggest airdrop metas for 2024, which is restaking with Eigenlayer. Now, Krypto has this really interesting thing where you can actually claim your Eigen points as a liquid tradable token called the KEP token, KEP. And they just launched this today. So if you are restaking some ETH with the Krypto, you can actually now go and claim the Eigenlayer points that you had accumulated up until the 27th of February, so yesterday. I'm restaking a bit of ETH with Krypto as of just like a day or two ago, and I can actually currently claim the Eigenlayer points that I've accumulated over the last 2 days. But the only thing I would say is, in order to do so, you need to claim with a transaction on the Ethereum mainnet, which is crazy expensive right now because gas fees have gone through the roof. So I'm not actually going to claim the KEP tokens in this video right here because I don't want to spend $100 in gas in order to do so. But moving forward, this is a super interesting feature that you could potentially take advantage of if you want to get liquidity on your Eigen points before the actual Eigenlayer airdrop is announced. And this is much more liquid and tradable than, for example, using something like Whales Market to trade points futures, basically, because you can literally hold these KEP tokens in your wallet, you can send them to other people, or you can swap them for a different token. So this is an awesome innovation within the Eigenlayer and the restaking airdrop meta, and you can now actually go and claim your KEP tokens, although I would definitely recommend waiting until gas fees go back down. Next up, on the topic of restaking, I wanted to bring you this little piece of news by EtherFi because I think it's actually super bullish for the prospects of the EtherFi airdrop itself. They just announced a new raise of capital, almost $30 million, $27 million, with all of these different VC funds and crypto investors behind them. It's pretty much a who's who of all of the biggest VC investors. And the reason why stuff like this is important is because if a protocol like EtherFi gets a higher valuation and more investment, then the amount of tokens that you get airdropped could theoretically be worth more at some point. So between the Krypto KEP token news and the EtherFi funding raise, this is a good day for restakers, especially if you're using these two liquid restaking protocols, which it turns out I am. Now, another one of the Class S or A tier airdrops is Athena Labs, and actually they just partnered up with Pendle, and so now you can actually leverage up your airdrop farming on the Shards campaign with Athena Labs through Pendle. Very similar to how you can actually use leverage on the restaking liquid tokens like ETH and a couple of other ones. Well, now you can do this with the USDE token from Athena, and you can actually either maximize your shards or you can maximize your yield and get a fixed yield. So if you're into the Athena airdrop, this is a way that you can boost up that position. And if you're not in it yet, I am planning on making a full video on Athena Labs. It's been in the works for a while and it's probably going to come out sometime next week. Okay, next up, I wanted to move to the topic of Pyth staking. So we've had a couple of disappointments recently. We had Scallop, which announced it was going to be doing an airdrop, and then it ended up being sort of a random lottery. Then we had DGenBase, which said it was going to do an airdrop, but then at the last minute backpedaled and said you actually had to deposit onto their platform and pay fees to them in order to qualify. And there's a bunch of red flags with that. So we've got another announcement, but I'm not going to be super optimistic about this until we get more information. However, Zeta Markets has said that they hope you've been staking your Pyth, and it looks like there's going to be an announcement coming tomorrow. So far, we haven't actually seen a real tier 1 airdrop come through for Pyth stakers. ZeroLand did offer some points to Pyth stakers, but it wasn't actually that much, and we are still waiting on the first actual payday. So maybe this will be it, maybe not. This is not the only project that is partnered with Pyth and using Pyth as their data or price oracle. So there's going to be potentially a lot more announcements coming soon, but we're still waiting for that first major one. And on the topic of staking Pyth tokens to get airdrops, Pyth had announced a partnership with Drip, and actually they just launched their first NFT collection. So there's 3 NFTs, and I currently have 2 of them, the common and the rare. And then the legendary is 1K supply. Now, there was a lot of hints on Twitter and elsewhere that holding these NFTs would have some sort of benefits down the road. This is very, very speculative, but DGen Poet, who's the artist behind this, has said that there's only 1,000 of them and that you should hold tight. And in a previous video, I covered the fact that the Pyth team themselves said that holding these NFTs from the Pyth collection is going to be in some way rewarded. Now, I don't want to get my hopes up on this one either, but you can currently purchase at least the common and the rare for relatively cheap. The rare one is selling for 0.024 Sol, so not that much. And you can pick up a common for a couple of cents. So I think it's probably worth it. The legendary, I didn't get it dropped to my account, and I'm thinking about actually buying one of these on secondary, although it is definitely more expensive. The floor price on this right now is 0.83 Sol. So again, super speculative, but I think there might be something in here because the team has been dropping a lot of hints, and price stakers and I guess holders of these NFTs are gonna get their payday at some point. All right, next up, this is a pretty major announcement, but the Lens protocol just went fully permissionless. So previously you had to have a whitelist or a referral code in order to mint a handle, but now you can actually go, anyone can go on any wallet and you can finally mint a Lens handle. And the joke is on all of you guys trying to steal my Web3 identity because I actually minted my Lens handle months ago and posted a whole tutorial on how you can use Lens as a decentralized social media protocol. There's a bunch of different apps built on it and it's super cool. And the fact that you can now go and mint a handle for a couple of dollars on the Polygon network, you definitely should. I think it's worth it. Lens also doesn't have a token. It's possible that at some point they will drop a Lens token as well. So go check it out, experiment with it, mint a handle if you don't already have one, and if you need a step-by-step walkthrough, you can check out my full tutorial video on Lens. All right, next up, we've got some news from MarginFi. So they're introducing their YBX token, which is a yield-bearing stablecoin. So this is an over-collateralized stablecoin that gives yield to holders via staking Solana. So the token is backed by the 4 biggest liquid staking Solana tokens, and that's where the yield comes from. Now, if you want to check out the design of the token and the white paper, there's a link to it here. But also something important to note here is that this is launching on mainnet in March, mid to late March. So we're at earliest a couple of weeks, maybe a month away from this. And I probably think, and other people think this as well, that MarginFi will likely not drop their token before the launch of this, which is their big flagship product now. So it's currently being audited and stress tested, and it should launch relatively soon. And hopefully we'll see a launch of the actual MarginFi token sometime shortly after that. Now, speaking of Solana DeFi applications, in my Discord, which currently is only for Patreon members, we have been discussing the way to maximize points. And a lot of us have gotten points boost up to potentially 15, 16x. Now, I have decided to be a little bit more conservative here because I didn't actually borrow up to the maximum capacity, but on this account right here with this public wallet, I've got almost a 12x points boost, and my ranking has now increased by about 20,000 spots over the last week and a half. Now, I'm probably gonna do a full tutorial on how to maximize Camino Finance points, but like I said in previous videos, this is a great airdrop target for people in the Solana ecosystem because currently there's actually no influencer referrals. It hasn't actually gone live yet, and you can move up the rankings relatively quickly without having to deposit too much capital. So now this wallet has 1.5K in it, and like I said, I've moved up 20,000 spots in the rankings in just over a week. And honestly, I kind of regret neglecting this one because my wallet would probably be in the top 10 to 20K if I had put more attention to it and wasn't focused so much on making these videos. Anyways, moving on, I wanted to mention briefly that the Babylon Bitcoin L2 is now live with the testnet, and you can try to stake some Signet Bitcoin. Although people have had troubles getting enough testnet Bitcoin from the faucet in order to actually do this, but this is another pretty hyped up Bitcoin L2 airdrop that you could potentially farm in the testnet phase. So I'll drop a link to this down below if you want to check it out. Although with testnets like this, you have to be patient and you have to be willing to sort of grind to actually be able to complete all the tasks. All right, and to finish up, I've got a bunch of quick and easy things that you can do to either mint some NFTs and then also collect some points and stuff like that from platforms like Galaxy. So right now, Hypercomic and the ZK list mint is live. So I showed you all of these little badges that you could mint and collect on the Hypercomic page for the ZK Sync airdrop. So if you have minted 7 or more of these little badges, you can now go and register for the ZK list and mint your ZK list pass. So the cost is a couple of dollars, depends on what the gas fees are at the time that you try to push it through. So let's just go ahead and confirm that transaction. But what this is an exclusive award reserved for people that have made significant contributions to the ZK Sync ecosystem. Now, this isn't technically affiliated with the ZK Sync team, but they have promoted it and shared it on Twitter. And it's possible that having these NFTs and interacting with this could help you qualify for the ZK Sync airdrop. And like I've said on multiple occasions, at a bare minimum, just minting the ZK List Pass is another qualifying transaction for ZK Sync. So you might as well go ahead and collect this if you've been following along with the channel and got all these other badges as well. Next up, another ZK Sync thing that you can do is participate in this raffle on Merkle to win one of these ZK Sync Libertas Omnibus NFTs, which are currently trading for hundreds of dollars. So if you want to participate in this, you need to go to the Merkle page. You can do a bunch of these tasks, collect these points, and then enter the raffle and hopefully win one of these things. They're giving out 5 of these things, so it's obviously going to be pretty low odds of winning, but some of the tasks actually require you to do on-chain stuff as well, which will help you for the ZK Sync airdrop anyways. 2 final quick things. There's some points and an NFT that you can collect for the Bear Chain testnet if you complete this task here on Galaxy. And if you've minted a Bear name, then you should be able to collect this NFT pretty easily. And then the final thing is that WooFi has launched an NFT for ZK Sync traders, people that have swapped $10 or more on ZK Sync's network with the WooFi application. And if you've completed that and you do these 2 social tasks, then you can collect your NFT. Anyways, that is it for today's alpha. I know that was a bit of a long one. There is so much happening and I'm just trying to keep you guys informed on all of the big things. So thanks so much for watching and have a great day.